It's 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. It's time for the Coach K Show, only on WSAN Radio.
We're saving the world 1 pound at a time.
Good morning, Coach K. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My apologies running late this morning. And look, allergies 1, Coach K 0.
Oh, wow.
So if I sound a little rough, sorry.
You know, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods this weekend.
Huh?
I'm going to be in your neck of the woods this weekend.
Oh, yeah? What you got going on?
And Cibolo at the theaters off 35, they asked me to come out and play some music for the car show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I said,
Is that
wow.
going to be right there? That's what's up. Oh, I have to see.
Yeah.
That's
They're
what's up.
going to have some nice style cars. And I was thinking, that's a good place for you to come out there and plank somebody.
Listen. Now, I'm not talking about any violence here.
I know.
This is, so what it is this is an annual challenge that I do every year. Been doing it maybe for the past 5 years or so forth. And it's the Planking into Spring Challenge, right? So it began on the 1st, which was yesterday. Wasn't no food. But it began yesterday. And what it is it's just a way to incorporate some daily fitness into your routine, and to, you know, like you said, in addition to maybe a way to challenge yourself and see, you know, how your strength and endurance increases over the next 30 days. So a plank. Now, everyone knows what a plank is, but you're like, I don't know what a plank is. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So that push-up position, that is a plank. So when you get ready to do a push-up, that is a plank, right? So it is pretty much like you said, make sure that your arms and your legs are hip width apart, right? If you're not able to get down on the floor, you can get on the surface. Booty in the air, we do care though. You need to be flat like a table. So whatever you're doing, you need to be. But this exercise, like you said, and I'll show you modifications and we'll go through it. But this exercise is one of those things that it uses pretty much every muscle in your body. So not only are you engaging your muscles, but as I said, as time goes on, you can see your strength and endurance increase, because we start at the lowest possible number. Even though I know for some people you may say, that's not low. And so how this even came about is I do evals with my clients, and this is one of the things that I test is however long you can hold yourself up. So that's why I said somebody may say, no, that's not low, because we're starting at 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Now, you can do it back to back, because I want you to do it twice. I want you to try it twice. If you do it back to back, or if you do 30-second plank in the morning, 30-second plank in the, in the evening, however you want to break it up. However, right, twice a day. That's what I'm looking for. Now, this, as I said, sometimes you may say, I don't know about that 30 seconds, because I literally have had people do not even make 10 seconds when it comes to a plank. Now, what I'm looking for when I do my evaluations is to see how long you can hold your own body weight, how long you can manipulate your own body weight. Now, the difference between what I want you to do throughout the month And what I allow in my evals is as I said, booty in the air. I do care, right? However, when it comes to my evals, as long as you can hold it up until the knee touches the floor, timer still goes. However, in this instance, we're going to work on doing standard planks. So we want no booty in the air. We do care. All right. So, and like I said, so one thing about the plank is it is an exercise that works your entire body. Now, you can modify it, do however it is that you need to do to get it done. That's what we're going to do, right? However, if you want to up the ante and modify it to where you step your game up, we can do that too, right?
Ooh,
so
yeah.
that's the good thing about this particular exercise. Whichever way you feeling, how you rolling, right? So I'm gonna show you what a plank is. That is the standard plank. Now, as I mentioned, you can get on the floor, you can use a surface, you can use the wall. Whatever you need to do as to get it done, get it done. You know me. I don't want to hear nothing about why you can't do it.
No
Oh, I
excuses.
can't do this. No excuses. And all I'm asking for is 30 seconds. Twice, that's a minute out of your day. Good Lord. You don't have a minute? You're kidding me? I'm busy and I got a minute. Goodness. But anyways, I digress on that one. So what I want you to do, like you said, if y'all are at home, if you are listening to this on the radio, whatever, I need you to pick your poison. Whichever surface it is that you are choosing to use, that is what we're going to use. And we're going to get over to it. Let's go ahead and just say that we're going to do a regular standard plank at the moment, right? So now, standard plank, I can use my chair because my arms need to be shoulder width apart, right? And my legs need to be hip width apart. Remember what I said about booty in the air? I do care. I do. I don't, that's not what we're looking for. I don't want to see that. Go ahead, hip width apart, flatten it out. Now, suck in everything. Squeeze everything. Okay. So, squeeze it all, right? And if you notice, my legs are hip width apart. So are my shoulders. And I'm not looking at you because I don't like you, Ron. I'm not looking at you because I'm keeping my neck neutral. So what I'm doing, and this is a mistake that a lot of people do when it comes to push-ups. I mean, I say a lot of times, what's pushing up? Your neck or your arms? What are you moving, right? Because a lot of times, if you look down, people put their neck in it. But if you look up, you don't. But we're not doing push-ups. We're doing a plank. So we're still squeeze everything, hip width apart, shoulder width apart. And I'm looking up. My neck is neutral. That's where it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That is a standard plank. Now, as I said, maybe you're not able to do that, right? So let's go ahead. You can do this on the floor, on a chair, on a whatever, right? If you're not able to do that and you're like, okay, well, I don't know if I got that. Get on your knees, please. so I couldn't help myself. So, so if you're not able to do that, we're going to do a modified plank. So a modified plank is the same thing. Booty in the air, I do care. And we're going to bring it down, right? Same thing. I'm looking down, squeeze everything. Neck is neutral, right? That's where I'm at. Knees were hip width apart, and so were my shoulders, shoulder width apart, right? So that's pretty much that. Now you say, I don't think I can get down on my knees. You see that thing behind me? It's called the wall. This thing here, well, same thing. Hip width apart, shoulder width apart, no booty in the air. I do care, right? So we don't want to be up on the wall like this because we still have to bear weight. Keep in mind that is we're holding our weight up. So there you go. Booty in the air? Nope. Right? Tighten everything.
Yes.
Tighten everything. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the abs. Squeeze it all in. And hold. Now, what if your hands, you say, oh, I have weak wrists. Do a low plank. Come on your forearms, right? On my forearms. Guess what? It still works. Suck it all in. Booty in the air. We still care. So, I mean, that's just it. That's it. And we're doing that twice a day for 30 seconds the first week. The next week, we move to 45 seconds. After that, we move to a minute. And then that, I think we're doing, we go up to a minute and a half. So, come on. Twice a day now. Twice a day. So this is something, like you said, if you have not been doing any exercise at all, you could do it. If you're just, like you said, wanting to measure your strength and just test yourself, maybe go ahead and just time yourself to see how long that you can stay up there. And then once you're there, you know what I mean? Keep on doing it. Keep track of it, right? Keep track of it. Okay. Keep going.
So what is the benefits from that?
Well, as I said, one, the plank uses every muscle in your body. So you are, with one, just holding your own body weight up. Okay, honey, we're burning some calories because you're holding it up, right? The lower you are, so the higher you are, that is less gravity involved. The lower you are, so if you're able to get on the floor, that will be better because you're burning more calories then. You're bearing all of that weight. At an incline, you're, like you said, it takes some of the gravity off. Now, remember what I said, if you want to kick it up a notch and increase, right? Let's do a decline plank. So put your feet on the surface and hold there. It definitely kicks it up a notch, right? Okay. Remember, as I said, there's different modifications. So you can do what you want, as far as making it interesting. You can do leg lifts with it, whatever, if that's what you choose to do. However, for somebody who is just starting, you can just do the regular plank and it will help strengthen and lean out your muscles, really. If you have, like you said, if you have, you don't have good endurance, meaning, you can't go that long as far as, doing certain activities or so forth, whatever. This is a good way to build it up in increments, in small bites. So a lot of benefits, honestly. Okay. To know, one of the things about a plank is it is a functional movement, meaning if you have to get up off the floor, pull yourself up, right? You can get up off the floor. You're pulling, you're able to manipulate your own body weight, move your own body weight. A lot of people can't do that. As you get older, I deal with a lot of older clients. And with that, if you fall, I want you to be able to throw those arms out. Right. Now, if you're doing a plank or, you're doing strength, upper body strength work, you're going to be able to do that and not face plant. Because if you're not able to hold your own body weight up, or, like you said, to be, to even just have enough strength to keep yourself from hitting the floor. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah. Let's talk about the ones who think they know everything and do everything, and they come and tell you, I can't do it for 30 seconds. But you quit. You should have been not being so cocky. You get those out there who think they could do everything, but simple as that is, some people can't do that because they can't do that for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like
You
I
know?
said, I've had people who, I mean, as little as 10 seconds, and they're down. So it is, like you said, it may not be a big thing, but it is a big thing to
Okay.
be able to, like you said, hold your own body weight up. That's an accomplishment. And like you said, the older that we get, we really want to be able to do it as we get older, because
Yeah.
again, balance, maybe at risk of falling and so forth. Come on, we got to take care of ourselves. And that is a simple way to do so. A simple way to do so. I tell you this, go ahead and do some, if you are one of those people who you said, well, yeah, that 30 seconds is too much, it's too long. Break it up. Break it up in a couple of seconds, right? So
Yeah.
have, maybe you can't plank for 30 seconds. Start at 10-second increments. Start at 5-second increments. The point is, I don't want no excuse. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's
Yes.
not what we're doing. If you have been listening to Live with Coach K or Ron G Morning Show, I don't want to hear no daggone excuses.
And
So
she's right about that.
I
So
don't.
I'm gonna throw something at you. Okay, your planking is good to help you out,
Yeah.
help your body out and everything. What about them knuckleheads that's doing planking years ago that was really hurting
Oh, on
themselves?
the cars or something?
Yeah,
That was just shenanigans.
I know, shenanigans. I haven't heard that in a while. But
That's one of my favorite words, shenanigans.
yeah, people go back to planking and think about that. But yours is a planking for exercise, not for idiots.
Exercise. We are working out around here. That's what we're doing.
You
And
know,
not even, like I said, and with this, because we just came off of Tank Top March Madness. So
right.
we were doing push-ups and tricep dips or so forth, whatever. And if you were doing it, you definitely should be stronger and see a difference in your back and your arms and definitely in your core. You should definitely see a difference.
Yeah.
Now, this is the same thing. It is a core exercise. Remember what I said about your booty in the air? I don't care. And I said tighten everything.
Yeah.
Because if you tighten everything, all of this is engaged. Tighten your glutes, that tightens your pelvis. All of this is engaged. By you being in that prone position, then you have your quads. You're on your toes, so you got your calves. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything is engaged. So now I will say this. I'm going to put out a disclaimer for some of my people who, my women, who may have it's called like erectile diastasis. And what it is after you have a baby, our abs, are supposed to close, and sometimes it doesn't happen, or just you haven't worked it and it doesn't happen. So if you are wanting to participate in the challenge, I encourage you to do side planks. Okay, side planks is better for that situation. So and a side plank, you could do the same thing. It could be on an incline, right? This is where I am, and I'm still squeezing everything. So just saying, and you can do 30 seconds. Do one of them on that side, and do the other 30 seconds on the other side, or break it up however you need.
Okay, I see you try to hit that high note right there, but with this coming around summertime, everybody wants to tone down. They want to look good, look their best. Now, I'm gonna share something with you that that I thought was ridiculous.
Okay.
A list, mainly women with a list. I want my man to have a six-pack. That's what I want. How now don't get me wrong, I'm going to say this. How is it you want your man a six-pack and you walking around with a keg?
Well, I know some men who want their women to have a six-pack and
I
like
understand.
you said, they walking around with two kegs.
Well, they gotta have one for drink and one for later. But I'm just saying when you start putting goals like that and it don't meet it, that's when I need to talk to Joseph Lee about mental health, because mentally you want that there, but reality you're not going to get there. I mean, sometimes you can, sometimes you don't, but I just don't understand the part of goals that people make, and some of the goals are so unrealistic, it's a crying shame, and then they get upset and depressed because they can't reach that goal. But that's not the whole idea. It's just like somebody say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How you reach your goal? 1 pound at a time. Because it took you 30 years to put that on there. It's not going to take 30 seconds for it to come off.
That's right.
And that's in their mind. Well, I'm just going to lose this for I go to my class reunion. You know, your class reunion's in 2 weeks. You know, so how do you run across people like that? And do you ask them when they first come see you, do you have a particular goal you want to meet? Is it something you want to meet before you go anywhere? Well, what is it that you want? I mean, I know you want to lose it because you want to, but don't lose it because you have to impress somebody. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Like you said, as far as men or women, you know, wanting requirements of for their suitors, spouse, dating, whatever you got going on. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. People are definitely, it's your right. You know, if it's your right. If you don't like short women, then you definitely wouldn't talk to me. You know, if you like women that, you know, have the BBLs and the lashes and the weave all down their back, you probably not gonna like me. You know, it doesn't matter. If you're looking for someone who is, you know, cut and muscle bound or whatever, you know, no, that's not me, and that's not really what I particularly care for. I don't need to be, you know, cut and tough. I don't need that. You know, I don't like short guys. I mean, I feel like in that instance, it is your right. But if you have these requirements and whoever that you're dating or when you're, you know, courting, whatever, however they want to say it, I think that be what you want. So if you're looking for someone that is fit, that is active, that is cut and tough, then you need to be that. You will attract who you are and what you are, right?
Yeah.
Now, for the people who, like you said, maybe they come in because, again, everything I do is goal based. You know, even if the goal changes, you know, I come in, you know, of course, my specialty is weight loss, getting rid of weight and so forth. However, some people, as time goes on, those goals change, or it may have been that from the get-go of just wanting to feel better, wanting to be in a better mood, you know, these type of things. So, I mean, whatever your goal is, then, you know, we'll work towards your goal. You should always have something that you're working towards anyway. Now, if you're coming in for a short-term goal of, hey, I want to get rid of some weight, or you're not getting rid of it, lose some weight before, you know, my reunion in 2 weeks, then you can do that too. It's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just a matter of know what your goal is. All right, this is my goal. I want to look good in 2 weeks, and I'm going to do what I need to do to be able to do so, because it may include 2-a-day workouts, cutting out all sugar, bread. Please know that's what needs to happen. Okay. And maybe you are like you said, only juicing and whatever. That may be what you need to do to meet that goal. However, if your goal is more long term, then approach it in that manner. But I don't think it's anything wrong with having, like you said, long term goals, short term goals, or requirements for whoever it is, you want your mate to be. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
I knew a couple of ladies. They would tell me, Ron, what you think about this? About what? She said, I got this dress. I said, okay, but I can't fit it. I said, okay, well, why you buy a dress you couldn't fit? Because I want to work myself down to weight so I can get in this dress.
That's
said,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were friends of mine. But Ron, can you do me a favor? So I said, can you take pictures of before and during and after? I said, oh, no, I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. I end up doing it. And then I seen the progress. In about a year's time, they was able to fit in that dress. And you talking about a young lady, guys, what you crying for? She said, I did it. I said, oh, the work haven't started yet. What you mean? You got to keep it up now. You did your goal, so what you gonna do to maintain it? And she looked at me and said, why you spoil my good mood? I said, well, I'm just letting you know you did it. So now you have to maintain it. She wasn't a girlfriend of mine, she was just a friend of mine. And I said, so now you want to maintain it. And then she later on, she told me, I lost this weight because this one dude that I like. I said, so how'd that turn out? Well, I found somebody else better.
Well, and then in that instance, you're definitely right. Like you said, you got to that point. Now you want to be able to wear that dress and that size clothing all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to make sure that whatever way that you went about getting rid, because hopefully you're getting rid of it, getting rid of that weight. Hopefully it was a way that you can maintain, that you can keep that up. If you, I'm one of my, she called me, she said, blast from the past, one of my Baltimore people. And she was like, honey, she used to work with my brother, and I helped her when I lived there the last couple years, get rid of, some weight. And then I guess she done retired now. So, that good retirement life done kicked in, right?
Yeah.
And she called, she said, all right, I need to get a jump start, So I do, like you said, I am an Avocare distributor. So I still use the Avocare products, and I'm going to get with her so that we can set her up on on her detox to get her started. And then that's where you at. A little help to get you started. But when we work, when I work with you, again, it's not going to be, okay, well, you can't have this, you can't have this. I am going to ask you for a couple of weeks, hey, let's just stay away from it for a couple of weeks. And then let's work it in to where we can keep it off. Because you're right, the hard work is keeping it off. It's kind of easy to lose it. But it is hard work to keep weight off. So definitely, however it is that you are choosing to go about it, please do make sure it's something that you can maintain. Which is why, like with this particular challenge, why I started, it's something so small. It's such a small thing, a little thing that you can do. And like you said, you're taking the elephant and bites, not chunks.
All right, here's a question that came in last week. This young lady, she said she's in the process of losing weight, but she can't get rid of excess skin. And she says that's the problem she's having, and it doesn't look nice with the excess skin. Just how she get rid of excess skin besides surgery?
Oh, well, definitely strength training. Like you said, definitely strength training. I would look into collagen rich foods, maybe a collagen supplement. Um, whatever way would I say? Definitely, but definitely definitely strength. Definitely strength training. Make sure, like you said, that your muscle, and then and sometimes it may just take that surgery because some people are not built to stretch, so
Yeah.
I'm not built to stretch. I was not one of those people. I wasn't built to stretch, so some
Yeah.
people do have that issue, but I would go to one of those places that they one of those med spa type deals or so forth, and see what options they have, there, how in addition to your strength training. If
Okay.
you're losing weight or getting rid of weight with just your diet, that is awesome. However, in order to, like you said, not kind of look saggy, to have a more toned appearance, hit them weights, honey. Hit them weights.
Okay. I thought that was a good question.
Mm-hmm,
Because some
mm-hmm.
people do that and they get that fat. And I remember, years ago when I was in Illinois, a friend of mine, he lost a lot of weight. It was
Mm-hmm.
300 something pounds. He was down
Oh,
200, but then he showed, Ron, this is the problem. He had all that right there. And I don't know what he did, but a year later, all that was toned out away. He ended up at 190 pounds and
wow.
looked
Wow.
healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people lose weight and they look like their jaws all sunk in and everything, but
No.
no, he was healthy. Whoever trained him was putting him through the things he needed to go through. I don't know what they did, but whoever it was did a damn good job on his brother. Because I mean, people made fun of him all the time, and all of a sudden he went somewhere and said, is that you? He said, yes. But he said it was funny. He said, even the girls that made fun of me actually talked to me. I said, did you talk back to him? He said, shoot, no. No way. But actually, when you lose weight, you go through all that. You go through another thing as image wise. You look different, and everybody look at
Yeah.
you different.
Yeah.
And some people will use that like, oh yeah, I look good now, and their head gets big. They're
Well,
not that humble self anymore. So people go through transformation when they do lose weight.
and I mean, you do have that person who drops weight and they may look dramatically different, and now they are one of the cool kids when they weren't a cool kid before, and
Yeah.
and that can definitely be ego boost. However, you also had the adverse to that, which is still the image of, I'm 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And even though I may now be 105 pounds, I, in my mind, see myself as 300 pounds. So
Yeah.
it's, like you said, it's definitely, um, it's a mental thing. And that's what I talk about it all the time. That's why I don't just focus on the weight loss portion of it. It gotta, it's a all in the formula. Everyone's formula looks different. It may not look the same for everybody.
Yeah.
However, it's not just, let me get out here and exercise. It's not okay, I'm only going to eat, I'm gonna pick on you. I'm only going to eat broccoli, brown rice, and chicken. You know
Leave
what
that
I mean?
alone.
But I mean, these are the things.
Yeah.
Like you said, the hard work is keeping it off. That's going out into the world, and I mean, you may be like me. If my daughter happened to see, she'd be like, "Mom," because she brings food and put it in my in my freezer. She makes meals, and all I have to do is just eat. Cause nah, I got nothing in there right now. It's nothing there. Uh,
Yeah.
it's not. I am going to figure something out. I'm gonna go and maybe get a couple of things. But I personally, if I am choosing to eat out, I try and make the best choice that I can. I do keep like some things that are grab and go for me, you know. And when I say grab and go, I don't mean, and I want to definitely say this. When I say grab and go, I do not mean little snack bars or even like, you know, like people know, if you've been around me and you've come, I keep pretzels and peanut butter crackers. Like those are the two things that I always have. I keep those because, again, if someone, you know, hasn't ate enough, and, you know, to keep them from passing out, eat these crackers or these.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep them. So I do typically have those. I usually have like maybe walnuts. I don't like almonds, so I don't do almonds. But
you don't like almonds?
No.
Okay.
No. And you know, but I you know, may have pecans or you know, something like that. However, for the most part, when I say grab and go, that's me. Maybe I have a couple of green juices in my refrigerator, so I'm grabbing one of those. I may have some I'm on celery right now. It a year ago was cucumbers. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. But I'll have, you know, some cucumbers or celery or something already. Now I will take the time to cut those things up, and I'll have them ready to go with my little, you know, I make either low-fat sour cream or Greek yogurt, you know, and my little ranch seasoning for my dip, you know, so I can dip and go.
Yeah.
And because I can take it with me in the car, you know. That's typically like what, oh, you know what I what I do a lot of time. I say grab and go. I'll get like from Sam's, they have like the big cans of chicken, like for chicken salad, you know, and I will just take and mix a little chicken salad or so forth and put in containers. I don't need crackers. I don't need anything. That's just a quick protein for me, and grab and go.
Yeah.
So if I don't have any grab and go items, you know, just being honest, you know, I'm probably stopping somewhere, getting some. But I don't usually stop somewhere where I'm getting fries or anything like that's not, you know, what I'm usually doing. So it just, like you said, beware of your snacks. Your snacks don't always have to come in a bag or a package. Your snacks can be, of course, I'm not a big fruit person, but it could be fruit. It could be, you know, a to-go vegetable. Your snacks don't have to be in a package.
Okay.
It doesn't. You know, I just say that just because I think of one of my clients, she you know, she tries out different things, you know, different snacks or so forth or whatever, because she's a snacker. And, you know, the thing is, it's like, snack on real food. Instead of snacking on this stuff, snack on real food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? One thing that somebody had me taste one time, and I can't get that taste out my mouth and out my mind. It's been about 10 years ago. Hummus.
Yeah.
I tried it.
Yeah, it's not my jam.
It said, try it, Ryan. I said, oh, Lord have mercy. Who came up with this? I said, and then
I'm not really a big hummus fan.
No, hummus, whatever it's called. I don't like it. So, you know, I do 95% of the grocery shopping here in the house.
Nice.
I do it. But then I got in trouble because I didn't get any cucumbers and lemon. I said it wasn't on the list. And I didn't know you needed it. Let me know. What did I say that for? When I say I'm going grocery shopping, she got an image of everything at HEB that I can't mess it up.
That's a smart woman right there.
One right, and I look at it and I get exactly that. So I got a salad. She wanted this Southwest salad. I got that for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it came home, baby. Do you know that salad had onions in it? I said, no, I didn't. You didn't look? I looked at what you told me to get. I got exactly what's on that label. Is that the exact one? She said, yes, but you know me, onions don't get around. I said, I do. I'll take it. I eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because if I mention grocery shopping, you know how sometimes you get a list, things written down. I get pictures and what aisle is on.
That's right. That's a smart woman. One, you should appreciate that because she's saving you time.
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
have to look, and you could just aisle this and go right down the aisle, right? But I think, like you said, you mentioned like those the Southwest salad and so forth. When I say fast food, a lot of times that's really what I mean. Anybody who knows me knows that it's a couple of things about Texas that I can't leave. One, my kids are still here, so I can't. My kids and my grandson, I'm not ready to leave them. Two, HEB. I love HEB. I love HEB. And I like the fact that I can go. It's like Publix for the, what I'm saying, for the East Coast.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, and I'm not by like Central Market. Central Market's usually good too. But you can go in there, you can get a salad, a sandwich. You can go and say, hey, I want a whole meal that you could just pop in your own oven or microwave or so forth and have a meal in, 20 minutes. Man, come on. Love to HEB.
Oh,
Those,
I'll bring up something about HEB. My brother years ago came down here, and two things. The first thing is he walked off with that little red basket, and he took it back to Illinois. I think everybody in my family used that basket for something. The other thing, he first came down, he said, Ronnie, I said, what? Y'all sure got a lot of Jewish people here. I said, what you about there? There's a Heap store right there, and other Heaps. I said, that's HEB. That's not Heaps.
Heaps.
Yeah. And he was serious too. See, I grew up on A&P. We had Jules and Kroger's.
Now, when I lived in Georgia, and when I lived in Atlanta, that was a Kroger, and that's where they had Publix. But I can't really remember, just being honest. Like when I was a kid, we had Giant. That's what we had. We had Giant. That was like our, and then it may have been some other. I really don't remember, just being honest, because I left, and when I went back the last couple of years. Oh, it was a Shoppers. That's what it was. Like maybe Shoppers or Wegmans, something like that or whatever. Nothing like HEB. So it really, you see how I can't even remember the names of these establishments? Come on.
But you going to remember HEB.
HEB is a joint, man. I'm telling you. Again.
HEB, we're saying your name. I'll send you a bill, HEB, for us.
I know that's right.
Saying your name. Right. And you got money, so it won't hurt for you to dish out a couple grand or two or three.
Listen, I'm going to them. I'm hoping that they'll sponsor. I decided to push the Fitness and Nutrition Expo back until September, so that way it gives time to just a little bit more time, more planning. I feel like, the summer I was just trying to, it just seems like it's just too hard to manage. But what I am going to do, if you have to one of my karaoke and line dance parties, that will be happening. So I am looking forward. Oh
So
yeah, oh
so
yeah.
you gonna do
Two of
that,
my
huh?
favorite things, man.
Okay, okay.
Karaoke, line dancing, and I also had salsa. We did like a because it was like at a thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's happening. We're going to put that together, but definitely, like you said,
You have a place?
pushing,
Do you have a place in
pushing
mind? You have a place in mind?
I do. I do a couple of places. So,
Okay.
my thing with my wellness series events, I really like them to be in central locations.
Okay.
Easy to get to, and so
Right.
and with the summer month, it just seems like it's just was so hard for me to find a central location that I could,
Yeah.
use and so forth. So and then if I do it in September, if I had to do it outside, I could. I somebody asked me to do something, some like a mud run or something like that. I was like, yeah, no, not my thing. One, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't do too much outdoor stuff. I mean,
Yeah, but it's the mud run. That's some dirty stuff.
and I don't like to get dirty. Like, what? No, unless you talking about gardening. That's all I got for you. Now
Yeah.
I will get in there and dig in the plants and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, love that. But please know, I am only doing that in shaded weather, and it's not going to be extremely hot. I'm not going to be out there. That's not happening.
I
Yeah,
feel you on that one. I feel
yeah.
you on that one. I feel you.
Don't do it. Now don't do it. Don't do
All
it.
right, Miss Coach K. I was you should heard me mess with you on the radio yesterday.
Hmm.
I said, this girl gonna be planking. I said, what's she planking about? Everything I came up with planking. She's planking crazy and stuff. And I said, but you know what? I said, but deep down inside, whatever Coach K come up with, I guarantee you it's something to do with exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you that. I could talk noise and make fun all I want, but she gonna put you to work.
That's right. That's
Matter of
right.
fact, I'm gonna start my planking.
As you should. I was about to say,
I'm gonna
go
start as
ahead
soon
and
as
take it out. 30 seconds in a plank.
you know what? No pun intended. What I'm getting ready to say. Well, most men do planking anyway. When they go to the bathroom, to the urinal, they got the hand up against the wall.
Well, if that's how you want to get it
No,
in,
I ain't gonna do it like that. I'm just thinking.
personally, that was an image I did not need.
You know, I gotta hit you up with some good stuff every once in a while. And I want to say thank you again for the pictures and coming out to our fundraiser. It was a huge success. Everybody loved what was going on there and stuff. So I appreciate you coming out there and supporting me because I already told you when we first met. I told you stuck with me.
Hey, and the same, we gotta, like you said, we gotta keep this thing popping. We got things to do, Ron.
There
You
she
know,
go.
we gotta make it happen. I
Somebody heard
know,
you
like you
say,
said,
yeah. Somebody heard you say that and said she okay. Oh, well, she fine. Nothing wrong with her. That's how she messed with me, and she's scratching.
oh look, listen. I am perfectly fine. If I got a little nickname for you, that means I like you. If I call you by your name,
Oh Lord have mercy, I'm in trouble now because she got. It's all
don't
right.
worry. Look, what I need you to do is go ahead and get your set or whatever together, because karaoke and line dancing is coming up.
I'm ready for it. I
We
got
got
everything out here all set up, and I'm ready.
all
As a
right.
matter of fact, I'm gonna start doing karaoke again since it's not cold outside. So I'm gonna start doing that again once a month, and I'll let you know when I'm doing it on Saturday.
Oh yeah, like you said, if I'll be through there. I got my set ready. I'm working on some new
Before we
songs for
leave,
my set.
I gotta say this before we leave.
Mm.
This firecracker came out to one of my karaoke sets. Didn't know nobody in there. She got that mic, started singing. Everybody turned around and said, that's her. She's full of fire. That's her. If there was not, because you walked in, I forget what you had on. I think it was yellow, something yellow.
Probably.
And you walked in, you signed and got there and singing. Everybody looked at me and said, man, she all right, man. That she put it this way, she's part of the family too. So you are part of the family that we have around everybody, and we appreciate you coming out and doing what you're doing and what you're doing right now. So how many years have you been before we leave? How many years you been Want to Go Fit?
Man, this is my anniversary month, actually. So it is my anniversary month. I actually began in fitness, period, in April of 2007. So it's been 18 years since that I've been helping to save the world 1 pound at a time. And then I rebranded in April of 2015. So it has been 10 years of Want to Go Fit, because I was on the Go Fitness before, and then I rebranded, added CPR and some different services and things.
Yeah.
And we 10 years in the game, baby.
All right. I just made 11 years at the radio station last month. Woo-hoo. Oh, wow. All right. We're doing our thing.
Big things popping, Ron G.
All right. Once again, I appreciate you coming on the show, and we got some things coming up that we're gonna work together on, and no matter what, as McFadden Whitehead said, ain't no stopping us now.
I know that's right. Well, you make sure you check in on them planks. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give me up my paper. If I have to text you all the time when I do it, you're gonna see it.
All right. All right.
5 minutes, a half hour. No, I'm not going that far.
Now, listen. Now, just being honest, I do now, and recently she hasn't. Her back was hurting, so I don't think she's doing that anytime soon. However, I had 60-year-old woman doing 8-9 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the longest that I've ever had is 22 minutes.
Ooh.
22 minutes. So I say, go ahead, time yourself. Competition. You only in competition with yourself, Ron.
That's right. I can't get mad at myself.
That's right.
I can, but it wouldn't do any good. Who I'm gonna beat up, myself?
I mean, you may look crazy, but
thanks, Coach K. All right, young lady, you take care till next couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. 2 fingers, peace.
All right, peace out. Oh, as I say, peace and chicken grease. I'm out.
I'm not eating chicken grease, the fried chicken. So
all right,
you can say fish grease. I like fried fish.
All right. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.